Hello there. I am Sensei Victoria Whitfield. I'm your business Reiki master, and it's my joy to get to support empathic entrepreneurs and business owners like you in getting and staying grounded and clear in mind, body, and business. Welcome back to another installment of your weekly love letter from the dojo at naturalintuition.com and victoriawhitfield.com, my blog. These are your sources for channeled holistic stress management techniques and guidance for developing your natural intuition. Whether you are looking to improve the quality of your personal and professional life, let this love letter be your reminder that you are not alone and that together we can make that happen. So this is week 4 of 4 in our series on talking about rocking your retrograde. Whether you got to see the ones before or not, make sure that you make the time to catch up on the series, because this has been really more of a vulnerable discussion that we're having, right? Going in and talking about the dark side and about when things aren't working out in business. How do we keep a positive mindset even though we're retrograding? Now, if you don't know what that means, if you think like, oh, is that something that a teacher does? Retrograding? Is that like doing something backwards in time, like giving grades from before? No. Go ahead, pause, go back on my blog at victoriawhitfield.com and start from the beginning of the series. This week, 4 of 4, we are being called as a tribe to change our stories, specifically around, am I breaking down or am I breaking through? Right? The stories that we tell ourselves as entrepreneurs, as women, as men, right, as individuals looking to live our best lives and create our life by design. The stories that we tell ourselves have power. And the more that we can tell ourselves a story of empowerment and uplift, positivity, forward motion, positive forward motion, the better. However, we can get into cycles of telling ourselves stories that are disempowering, or stories that encourage us to hide, to protect, to shrink, to stop or retreat, especially when things get uncomfortable. Last week we talked about leaning into the discomfort and learning how to do that. And this week in particular, so that you are supported not just for this retrograde, if it's still retrograde time, or any other retrograde or transition, right, that you're going through in life and business. This week in particular, we've got to talk about telling a new story, right? A story of empowerment. And the way that you reframe when things don't go as planned, which happens typically during Mercury retrograde, as you and I both know and are well aware of by now in our conversation, or now as you've been experiencing in your life and business. By the way, comment below, what hiccups have you been going through? Have you been feeling the molt? And if so, how's that been coming up for you? I'd really love to hear it. Comment below or send me an email back at info@victoriawhitfield.com. That comes straight to me. So I'd love to hear that and support you. The story that we want to tell ourselves and that we can specifically use to shift is converting what looks like a breakdown into a breakthrough. Now, maybe it's your cell phone or your laptop or your car, etc. A piece of technology is having a breakdown. And for sure, that is so frustrating, debilitating, slows you down. It can really feel disempowering, right? It's such a frustrating experience because we've become so techno-dependent, especially too. And with that as an example, how can we shift that from a story of breakdown to breaking through, right? Could it be that we're breaking through into time to get the new car that I've been saying I'm going to get all this time, or wishing and manifesting and goal cardsing for all this time? This is a sign that I'm breaking through to that new paradigm. Or with the washing machine breaking down, could this be a breakthrough of not ignoring the little things in the background in your personal life, and instead making sure that they're just as important as the business items and issues that you are placing your attention on? Because sometimes what breaks through is remembering to value ourselves, right? Personally, while being an entrepreneur and a business owner. Interesting. Ew, how icky is that? But I know if you're just like me, you have the same thing where when things get busy or it's go time, the first thing that goes out the window typically is self-care, some aspect of living clean or taking care of home, or etc. Guilty as charged. Full disclosure, right? I'm open to go there with you. And if you're there too, send me an email back, info@victoriawhitfield.com. Let's connect around that. I also put together a webinar called the Abundant Business Lifestyle Webinar Series. You go to my website, victoriawhitfield.com. It should be right there on the home page for you to be able to go and sign up to view that webinar, where I go into detail of how I've had patterns in the past before I really started prioritizing my self-care at the same level as my business development. What happened and how I was able to turn that around, exactly how. Go ahead and claim that. But today in particular, just for today, as we say in the practice of Reiki, just for today, let's focus on shifting our story from I'm breaking down, right, or this thing is breaking down, versus I'm breaking through. Okay? This will really empower you, not only for this retrograde, but for all coming forward. I'm hearing the oracle cards, calling in the energy. Let's tune in. Indigo Angel Oracle Cards deck by Doreen Virtue. Thank you, Goddess, for all your inspiration and all your resources. I don't know how many Oracle Cards decks we have here at the dojo by her. I've lost count. Okay, angels, what do we need to know right now about changing our story from breaking down to breaking through, especially during retrograde? That was loud. Ooh, this is so good, and I love the bubbles in her hair. Acceptance. This is like all the stuff that's on your mind, all those lovely bubbles. Acceptance. So the angels are bringing the oracle card acceptance forward for you this week in particular, because this is to remind you to accept the gift, even though it may be a dark gift, a gift that doesn't exactly look like something nice, but it's full of wisdom, learning, power, experience, right? Progress and healing. Accepting the dark gifts that come our way, right? The learning opportunities that are coming up as things may look like they're breaking down, but there's a gift in there. Accept it. So the way that we can switch into a more receptive mode when things start to, or appear to, right? Perception is everything. It creates our reality. When things appear and to be breaking down, specifically change the story from this is breaking down to I'm breaking through, right? And look at what's the gift you are accepting in that experience. Go ahead, comment below. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube so that you get these love letters first every week. And if you are having a hard time accepting I call them dark gifts, you may call them learning gifts, right? If you're having a hard time seeing them, receiving them, and fully integrating that wisdom and learning that Source is trying to send you through these difficult experiences, right, that are coming up for you, go ahead to victoriawhitfield.com/contact. Get on my calendar. Share your story with me and let's talk about it. Let's connect and see how I can help. All right, I'll see you next week. Mwah.